sitting in the chair reduces your lifespan. Have you heard of the fish net hypothesis? Fish net hypothesis. Anyone? You're all ichthyologists, right? You know ichthyology? Studying fish. So ichthyologists wanted to start science. So they said, okay, we will study fish. So they went to the sea and had a net, collected the fish, brought it to their laboratory and measured it with what I was seeing there, some measure, weight measure and something, vernier caliper or whatever they measured, and came a hypothesis. They wrote a piece, it became a PhD thesis saying that all fish in the sea are bigger than 2 inches in size. Became a hypothesis. It was accepted by the peer reviewing committee and it was published in the International Journal of Ichthyosis. Right? Then what happened? It went on. Everybody accepted it because market, immediately it was taken to the market. So market said any fish bigger than 2 inches is sea fish, come on, I will sell it. They made money. So science is money, making money. And then there was a thinker called P.C. Thomas who said, why every fish must be bigger than 2 inches? So P.C. Thomas went to the sea with a smaller net hole. So he caught less than 2 inches also. So science is called fish net hypothesis. This hypothesis was proponent by a great Nobel laureate physicist. His name is Sir Arthur Stanley Eddington. Eddington was a contemporary of Einstein. Actually, to make Einstein great in the textbooks, this Eddington is responsible. So Eddington brought him to the English speaking world. Einstein was not even known because what work Einstein quoted was all original work of Lorentz, Poincaré and Fitzgerald. And Einstein's wife nicely plagiarized it and wrote a paper putting all the things together because they all wrote it in 1899. She wrote it in 1905 and together they published it. And somehow or other, the rest is history. You all have read that. You have read the history but not the truth. Most of the time history is not the truth. Now coming back to our friend Eddington, Eddington put forward this hypothesis saying that science is not sacrosanct. Science cannot really answer any question. Certain questions science can never answer. Like for example, is there God? A MSc scientist will say, no, not likely because I have not seen him. I can't measure him in my laboratory. So where is God? PhD scientist says, there is no God. Forget about it. There is no God at all. How can he be there? I have not seen him. I am a PhD. How can he be there? So God doesn't exist. But then a thinking Nobel laureate, whose name is Peter Medawar, wrote a beautiful book. Small book, read it. It's not difficult to read, about 104 pages. It's called Limits of Science. Book's name is Limits of Science, where he says, come sir, why did you sit down? Our Australian friend. I know, he believes latest scientific research in medicine says sitting in the chair reduces your lifespan. I'm not joking. That is called reductionist science. You just collect a cohort of people and then say how many hours they sat, how many hours they worked and things like that and come to some conclusion, immediately write a paper. After some time someone else will write and say standing is bad for health. This is called reductionist science. Reductionist science. You must have had so many papers saying coffee is very good for health. And you equal number of this, so coffee is very bad for health. Like for example, you all thought fish is very good for health. It's got, what is that called? Omega 3, this, that and all. All these are created, fat. Fat was fat. We all knew fat. Now we created caste system in fat. Saturated fat, unsaturated fat, semi-saturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, omega fat, this fat, that fat. All fat is no good or good.